Hello friends, and this version of Peppa Pig is the adult creepy Halloween dentist of nightmares version. So hang on to your hats because you never know what might happen in this story. When Mummy Pig needs the dentist. She'd had excruciating toothache for over a month, stacked up with paracetamol and ibuprofen, and nothing was working. She'd tried a telephone dentist, although she had no idea how a dentist could cure her bad tooth over the telephone. She'd finally got an appointment with an emergency dentist and persuaded Daddy Pig to drive her, and they took Peppa and George along for the ride. Daddy Pig grumbled all the way there about how much this appointment was going to cost, and then Mummy Pig pointed out that nothing would get done in the first appointment because that's just when they look at the tooth and then they send you away and make you come back later on to do something, unless they just give you antibiotics. Daddy Pig hated to admit it, but he knew that Mummy Pig was probably right, and he also knew that his credit card was completely maxed out, and so he was really worried how he was going to afford to pay for Mummy Pig to have her dental treatment. But Daddy Pig was even more scared of Mummy Pig being in pain and him not being able to help her, and her finding out that he'd spent all their money gambling. The journey to the dentist therefore passed quite uneventfully. Both adult pigs were riding up front, lost in their own thoughts. Meanwhile, in the back, Peppa and George were squabbling like they usually do. Peppa had poked at George's dinosaur in the eye, and George had started crying and also then bit Peppa on her arm. As Mummy Pig couldn't actually speak because of the agony of her tooth, Daddy Pig yelled at the kids to be quiet and not to have another peep out of them until they got to the dentist's surgery. When the Pig family finally arrived at the dentist's, they were stunned to see that Mr. Elephant is going to be the dentist. "Don't worry," Dr. Elephant laughed. "I may not have opposable thumbs, but I have a very prehensile trunk and I am adept at my job. I will also be eagerly assisted by my wonderful assistant, Delia. Come and say hello, Delia." Mummy Pig instantly had misgivings about Dr. Dentist, but also his lovely assistant. But she was in so much pain, she didn't dare say anything. "Just pop yourself in the chair, Mummy Pig, and let's take a look. Delia, be a dear and pass me the dental instruments, will you?" Mummy Pig became mesmerised by Delia's inability to see or even feel for the right dental equipment. She couldn't help noticing how filthy Delia's hands were, and also how disgusting the implements were too. But she was comforted by the fact that no dentist ever touches a person's mouth on the first visit because they like to charge them. So she knew that those instruments weren't going to be going anywhere near her, until suddenly Dr. Elephant said, "Ah, I can see what the problem is. It's that tooth there. I'll have it out in a jiffy. I've been chatting to your husband and he says that we can do it without the anaesthetic and it'll be much cheaper." Delia turned out to be surprisingly strong as she held Mummy Pig down, prized her mouth open, and Dr. Elephant extracted the tooth without anaesthetic, just as he said he would. While Mummy Pig was in surgery having her tooth removed without anaesthetic, Daddy Pig was in the waiting room, surprised to discover that a real-life dinosaur had turned up to have his teeth done. And while he was waiting for Mummy Pig, the dinosaur bit Daddy's head clean off. George witnessed his father's savage demise from his hiding place behind the curtain, and unfortunately he tripped backwards and fell into the aquarium, which all dentists have in their waiting room, and sadly drowned. While this was happening, Peppa suddenly started to feel very hot and cold all over. It must be from the bite that George had given her in the car. She knew straight away what it was. It was indeed sepsis, and Peppa collapsed and died in the doctor's surgery, just as Mummy Pig came out of the clinic and found her entire family dead. She was like a woman possessed. Snatching up the dental instruments, she stabbed everybody to death, then suddenly realised that the dentist had removed not one, but all of her teeth. Mummy Pig was left to roam the earth, toothless and alone till the end of her days. And that is the Halloween dentist Peppa story.
Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and bye for now.